Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to give you your assignment that is going to be due on Tuesday for Criminology CCJ 1010. It's a very straightforward and basic assignment. I've also written it down in the announcement board. But it's quite simply what you're going to do is I'm going to pretend that I'm doing it for you, and then you're just going to ask this to 3 people. Okay. So here's what you ask. I ask, please list for me the first 3 crimes that come to your mind. Don't think about it. Just list them. And if you do the same, list your 3 crimes. Right? The second question that you're going to ask your person is, if they listed a murder or robbery or something like that, or assault, ask them, especially murder, where would you go to find a murderer? And just let them put it down. It doesn't matter what the answer is. Let them put down where would they go to find a murderer or a robber or what have you. All right? Then what I want you to do in the third step is you're simply going to ask them, okay, imagine the characteristics, the social and demographic characteristics of a person who is a murderer. Right? List for me 3 social and demographic characteristics of a murderer. And just let them list the 3. Okay? So what you're doing is list the first 3 crimes that come to your mind. Then you're saying, where would you go to find this violent offender? And then you're going to say, what are the 3 social and demographic characteristics of a typical offender, a murderer, or a person who's engaged in assault, or someone who's done robbery, something like that. You list it down, all right, and just list them. Take a look at your lists, and once you're done with your list, you're simply going to write a paragraph. What does this data, because this is data, what does this data tell you about crime? All right, and then when I come back, I'm going to go ahead and give you an overview of what it all means. All right, because you're going to have 3 people, but I'm going to have a sample of basically 75 people based upon all your responses, and I pretty much have a good idea of what the response is going to be. But one of the things that's really important that you're going to find is that this assignment is going to tell us a lot about our perceptions of common sense and the way in which we see human nature, the way in which stereotypes play themselves out in everyday life, and your assignment should be something that is actually very fascinating. When I actually lecture on it come up the following week, you're going to find that this was actually a really interesting exercise. On another note, let me just apologize for the confusion pertaining to the textbooks. Half of you have used vouchers to get the main textbook. Half of you are using the supplemental textbooks. That's going to create a very dynamic class. I'm creatively thinking about how to integrate the 2 groups. But remember, since we don't have multiple choice exams, what we're going to be able to do is stuff that's a lot more flexible, it's a lot more interesting, that we can take a mistake and actually make it into something that is vibrant and dynamic. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me think about that over the weekend. But for now, list 3 crimes that come to your mind. Where would you go to find that typical offender, that violent offender? 3, list 3 social and demographic variables or characteristics of that offender. And looking at those lists, what does it all mean? You all have a beautiful weekend. Relax. Everything is going to be fine. I know you're experiencing some confusion. Part of it's due to the fact that it's asynchronous. And the live feed yesterday may have confused some people. You know, you got to remember, if we were in a classroom, I could actually answer those questions directly, and we could have had everything clarified right up front. So we're going to have to work through some kinks. I'm not really worried about that. But at this time, I want to wish you a great weekend. I'll talk to you I'll provide you with a video for the class next weekend, or next week, and then we'll go from there. Our live stream is the following week. Until then, you have a great day, a great weekend, and a wonderful Labor Day. Thank you.